how are you doing? It is November, end of November already, after Thanksgiving, and coronavirus still rampaging US, the highest rate, the highest death rate, and it's very bad. I think all the restaurants are still closed, and some of the business are open because that's necessary, like the grocery stores, Amazons, all these places that it is necessary for survival for people. And so during this time, I think I would like a little bit, to cheer you up. I'd like to talk about Neil Simon's comedy. When I was probably when I was 30s maybe, I saw the movie. It's called Old Couple, and Jack Lemmon, Walter Matthau are in it, and I really liked that play and the comedy play, and so wow, I have to read that plays, and so I started to read, and he has like a Neil Simon's collected play, Volume 1. This is Volume 1, and Volume 2, Volume 3, Volume 4. I think something like that. There's lots of books already published. This is Volume 4, and this is Volume 2. And all of them, I think it's a comedy, it's funny, and I think a typical New York Jewish culture, environment is in there, which I like. I like those are very kind of intellectual, and living in New York City is something that I kind of always look forward to seeing in Woody Allen's movies and all these other movies as well. So I really enjoy this plays. I think when I read the play, I transform to the stage, right? So I feel like I'm sitting like a dead center of the best seats available, and watching the play in front of me. And always I get that kind of a feeling. And especially the one that I like is The Old Couple and The Sunshine Boys. I would like to talk about that a little bit. Old Couple is about the two guys who are more or less like, for some unfortunate reason, they live together in an apartment in New York City. And so especially when I saw the movie, the Jack Lemmon's character is the one that who was kind of sensitive and trying to get happier, but he can't because of the circumstances. And Walter Matthau tried to encourage him to live happy life and everything, and that those two characters interact, and it's so funny. And there's a lot of anecdote and all these things that are involved in there. Sunshine Boys is in the it's about old comedy actors, I would say, try to rekindle the old time, a good time when they are performing, and so they get together, but they are somehow, for a long relationship, and they got tired of each other, and get with each other's love, and but very funny, and this also became a movie, right? It's The Sunshine Boys became a movie, and it's a funny movie that I would recommend you seeing it. And there's a lot of others now. Barefoot in the Park. Barefoot in the Park. I remember the movie long time ago when I was 12 years old, maybe 12, 13 years old, 1961, 62-ish. This movie, Jane Fonda and Robert Redford portrayed the young couple who just got married and moved into this apartment in New York City, and so it's kind of a delightful, and then those two people, and Jane Fonda, beautiful, and Robert Redford, very handsome, and they do their own thing. It's in the movie, and it's wonderful there. But that particular movie I didn't see when I was junior high, but my teacher, one of the teacher who told me, I went to the city and saw this movie called Barefoot in the Park. And I was so, at the time I was, I felt like I was looking for somebody who loves a foreign film, because foreign film are kind of popular, but still yet, only a handful people are, going to the theater and enjoy it, because most people are country bumpkin, right? And who wants to see the American film with the subtitles, the Japanese subtitle on it? And but those people are more or less intellectual people, and more fun people that I wanted to associate. But because this teacher, I think, told me that strong impression of me. Wow, this teacher is something. But anyway, so of course I didn't know anything about that particular movie, although I know that there is this story about a young couple who are walking in a barefoot in Central Park in New York, right? That's the only thing I knew. And then much later, when I came to the US, I think, of course, I started to read his books, play books, and I read that, and it's wonderful. And I saw the movies again at the time, maybe not again, for the first time, and it was wonderful. It was very delightful. And so the Old Couple, Sunshine Boys, the Barefoot in the Park is three that I can kind of immediately come to my mind by Neil Simons. But there's a lot of other things that Plata Suite and Come Blow Your Horn. Come Blow Your Horn, I think it became a movie. I think Sinatra is in it. Star Spangled Girl, that became a movie too. Last of the Red Hot Lovers, that also became a movie, I think. It's Jack Lemmon, isn't it? And Promises, that became a musical, right? And Gingerbread Lady, the Prisoner of Second Avenue, also this movie also become a movie. I think this is, Jack Lemmon also. The Good Doctor, California Suite. California Suite also became a movie. Lots of his play became a movie. California Suite also, I think Jane Fonda is in it, right? Alan Alda is in it, and it's about a hotel in Los Angeles somewhere. And but later on, Chapter 2 and the last one I have here, I don't have a volume 3 here, so I don't know what contains the volume 3. But in this volume 4, there's lots of other play. The rumors, for example, that I think is very delightful. When I saw in the YouTube some of the play by the local, the community theater type of things, and I like that. So in this version, the rumors, Lost in Yonkers, Jake's Woman, Laughter on the 23rd Avenue floor, London Suite. Some of them I haven't read. London Suite, I haven't read it. I like to read that. Yeah. All of them, I think his style of jokes become a little bit old. I think 1960s, 70s, I think it's his peak, and then I think he struggled a little bit after that, and but still producing good plays, and those plays goes to Broadway and so forth. So still wonderful. Lost in Yonkers, about this guy, boy, who grew up with this aunt or somebody, and but around that time, I felt like his plays wasn't funny anymore. That it's like a little bit memoir type of thing, and a little bit sad, but very good. Good. Trying to be funny, but it's not as bright and funny, but it's like a sad and funny a little bit. I think that's what it is. And I think himself tried to write, funnier comedy, I think, but as he gets older, I think he is true to himself come out, and kind of difficult to ignore that. But anyway, so in this particular time of the difficulty, I would say, I like to immerse myself in that type of a comedy genre. I wanted to talk about Notre Dame de Paris by Victor Hugo. That's a very, very sad story, the Esmeralda, but that's probably, I can't wait, because I love that very sad story too, but it's too sad. I think it's a little bit too depressing to live in this world of 2020 in November. I just saw the news, CNN news, that last 1 month alone, death of suicide in Japan is much higher than death by coronavirus, entire year. So, that particular, I'm not sure that this particular suicide probably caused by the coronavirus environment, because I was looking at this trend of the suicide rate, 2015 it's become a high, and then going down a little bit, 2016, 17, 18, 19 is low, but then 2020, all of a sudden it goes up, very high up, very high. And I think some of the influences is that the Japanese, based on Japanese culture, some of the celebrities died by suicide, and I think that maybe some of the people, but they say that mostly women, the victims are women. So that's kind of tells you something about the society of Japan. The number one places for foreign visitors to visit, but this year, particular year, no visitors allowed to go in there. and nobody can go traveling outside the country too. They are encouraging the traveling in Japan as much as they can encourage. And so people started to travel around, all over Japan. I think people start to rediscover the probably rural area, mountains, resorts, all these places, and so their restriction is much less than compared to the U.S., for example, and some of the people, Japan has a tremendous restriction of gathering and restraining and of the social events and all these things, but at the same time they are encouraging traveling to Japan to rediscover Japan or country Japan. And so that's another interesting thing about Japan. And the coronavirus rate is much lower than anywhere else. And so some of the people are saying that Japan has too much restriction and criticizing that. But anyway, I think all these things, you want to make yourself happy. Okay, go out somewhere like mountains and stuff to be alone, and enjoy the late autumn, like Indian summer, if it's in Indian summer. But when it's cold, I think it's still enjoyable to escape to the nature. So let's do that. Okay, bye.